Hey friends! Today's video, we're going to be doing a little get ready with me. I'm going to be playing with some new makeup. I got the new Midas Cosmetics Unveiled palettes. I have the Unveiled Berry Nude, which looks like this. And then the Unveiled Cool Nudes. I like the Cool Nudes. The Cool Nudes are calling my name today. And then I also got one of the Nabla highlighters. I had some Ulta points to use, so I bought them. But today's not just going to be about putting makeup on. Today I also wanted to talk about parasocial relationships in general, because I feel like it's something that is a really interesting topic, especially coming from somebody who's been on YouTube for a really, really long time and has kind of been through different eras of the YouTube community, different eras of the website in general. Like, I remember before Google bought YouTube. Had they bought them by the time I went to VidCon? I don't remember. I went to VidCon 2012, and that's the only time I've been to VidCon. Let's put some, let's, oh, and I also bought some lip glosses. So, let's do this. It's been a minute since I've done this. There we go. What? I'm running low on my foundation. I feel like I should have bought foundation at the same time, but haha. Oh, there we go. The lid is literally coming off. Oh, fuck. Shit. Well, we're just gonna do this. That works. That's fine. That's fine. Where's the... crap. I'll mess with that later.
Hi, hello.
Parasocial relationships. I will put the definition of what that is up on the screen because it's a very complicated topic that I feel like it's applied to both creators and then applied to brands as well. I feel like when it comes to brands kind of capitalizing on parasocial relationships, that kind of thing is when you get brands doing PR searches and like trying to be relatable and trying to like humanize themselves. I feel like ColourPop's probably a big offender of that. ABH, I think, was a big offender of that as well. But like humanizing a brand to a point where people feel the need to defend them like they're actual people. But that's not necessarily what we're going to talk about today. But I just felt like I needed to mention that parasocial relationships also are applied to brands as well as individual people. So, quick backstory. Back in the day, the way the YouTube community worked was that most people who actually made YouTube accounts were not just watching YouTube, they were also making YouTube content. So many of the people who were watching YouTube were also creators themselves, and the community itself was very, very small. The first person that I remember reaching 1 million subscribers was Charlie McDonald. Charlie is so cool like, and when that happened, it was huge news because at the time, 1 million subscribers was like, oh, everybody in the YouTube community is subscribed to him. It was like unheard of at that point. And so now somebody can have 20 million subscribers and I have no idea who the fuck they are. Like, the community is so much bigger, and in turn, the relationship between the creators and the audience is so different than what it was back in like 2010 to 2012, back when I first started. There was this sense of camaraderie across the board. Because YouTube wasn't owned by Google yet at the time, the only people who really made YouTube accounts were wanting to upload videos. Now, because Google owns YouTube, if you have a Google account, you basically have a YouTube account. You can comment, you can like things, you can subscribe. You don't have to like make a specific YouTube account to do any of that. But back in the day, you had to like actively create a YouTube account. It was like cat videos, viral videos, random stuff uploaded from like Newgrounds, and then you had some channels here and there. Like the first big channel I really remember subscribing to and watching regularly was the Vlogbrothers and Smosh. Brow stuff. Where are you? There you are. Okay. So back to what I was saying. Went on a slight side tangent. So I would say there was like a parasocial relationship back then, but it was different than what it is now because it was more like colleagues. You were interacting and leaving video replies and communicating in the comments. It wasn't so big and crowded. So that tended to make comment sections a lot less intense, if I could put it that way. Because now the disconnect is so big because you have people, tens of millions of subscribers, and they've reached like actual celebrity status, people tend to kind of forget that those people are also just regular humans. And so you get a lot more hate really quickly. You get a lot more people kind of hiding behind comments and hiding behind usernames to just be hateful and to be mean because they can. Because they're lost in a sea of
25 million people.
So while these people have reached such like celebrity status, they are still also different from like mainstream celebrities because there is that connection between like connection with the audience and that you're commenting back and forth and you can react to things and you can reply to stuff and they can actually like comment on your Instagram posts. And there is that level of closeness because there is that social media aspect. Yeah. Gathering my thoughts again. This was such a convoluted topic when I was thinking of it, and I was like, how am I gonna actually like talk about this in a way that makes sense? Okay. I bought a new eyeshadow primer the other day because I finally realized that it was time to retire my old Urban Decay primer potion because I think I had that for probably like 7 years. It was probably time, honestly. Sometimes with these big creators, you have people kind of keeping a lot of stuff to themselves, being very private about their lives, not sharing a ton with their audience. And then you have people, I mean, off the top of my head, I can think of like Markiplier. He also is one of those creators that's like very open and vulnerable with his audience. I don't think I could ever do that with the level of like how big his channel is and how many people watch him. Like whatever he wants to do, like I'm not telling him not to do what he wants to do, but sometimes it makes people expect that level of vulnerability and that level of like openness and like emotional openness across the board when not everybody wants to do that. So you get this sense of like, oh, we're all friends because somebody's just sharing so much of their life with you. And I know that I sometimes do this, a lot of creators do this where they say they love their followers and they love their subscribers. And it's like, yes, you can appreciate them and you can be very grateful. And I am very grateful and very appreciative of what YouTube has gotten me, but you don't love your subscribers. That's not a thing. And sometimes using that verbiage creates that just unhealthy kind of parasocial relationship starting. Like it enables that to happen because especially this last year with everybody staying at home and not being able to see a lot of people, like it's fully understandable that audiences and commenters and people who watch YouTube have become a lot more attached to the people that they watch. Like that is the least surprising thing. Oh, everybody's been stuck at home. They've been relying so much on content creators, like keeping them company. Yeah, obviously they're gonna like form a little bit of an attachment and a bond with them. I think streamers, it's like a whole other ballgame because there is direct kind of conversation back and forth. I know that like the streaming community and like with Twitch, some people can get to a point where it's like really unhealthy and when they feel so attached to a streamer and entitled to their emotions and entitled to their time, that's a whole different ballgame. But there is a level of people being entitled to a creator's feelings and emotions when nobody should feel that way. To expect somebody to share so much of their life and treat all of their subscribers like real life friends is really not that possible. I'm using this mustard shade. Love this mustard. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I think I want to do like I don't really know what I'm doing with my eyes today, but you know, this kind of reminds me of like the Naked 1 and the Naked 2 kind of put together, but with like a mustard in here, which I'm a fan of. I love a good mustard eyeshadow. I received this in PR, by the way, in case you're wondering. And I am a Midas affiliate, but I do like these so far. So we've talked about big creators. Now let's kind of talk a little bit about the small creator community, because I think it's a completely different type of response that a lot of smaller creators get. Like there are some people that put smaller creators on such a pedestal to where they can do no wrong. Unproblematic doesn't mean anything. Unproblematic is non-existent because what's unproblematic for one person is problematic for another. You know, it's like it's just up to the individual to decide what they want to support and who they want to support. So to call anybody, especially small creators, calling them unproblematic almost puts them in a really tough situation because it's like, why are you expecting perfection from me? I'm not saying me, but just in general, hypothetical. Why would somebody put that responsibility on someone when they never asked for it? I hope that makes sense. What next? Ooh, which one do I want to do? I think I want to do this one. This middle shade here. With the small creators, because the size of the audience is smaller, sometimes people who watch smaller creators or audience members, and I'm not speaking to you guys directly, I'm just talking about like just at large YouTube, just from what I've observed, you sometimes have audiences that are almost more entitled to their feelings or to their content than larger creators, because there is like a false sense of like, oh, we're all friends with each other because you don't have 2 million subscribers. Sometimes when a creator has less subscribers and a smaller audience, it means that some of those people in that audience feel even more connected and have even more of a parasocial relationship with that creator, to the point where they end up kind of sharing things with them that they shouldn't. Like, I've definitely gotten messages in the past on like Instagram and Tumblr, back when I used Tumblr, where people shared things with me where I didn't feel comfortable receiving those messages. It was nothing like dangerous, but it was just stuff where, why are you telling me this? Like, why am I the person that's receiving this message? I don't know you. And I don't feel like I need to be told this information. I don't feel like you should be sharing this with me because I am just a person that you watch on the internet. And the reason people do that is because of parasocial relationships. I don't necessarily always feel super comfortable like having private conversations with viewers who I've never spoken to, when it's like something that's way more personal than like talking about a brand. Now let's see. What do I want to do? Oh, that's a pretty look though. I think I want to do a little bit of black. Just a little bit. Just a fun, cool tone smoky eye tonight. Here we go, friends. I cut my bangs earlier because they were getting a little bit long. Okay, I'm gonna do my face. Oh, I have something in my eye still. Oh shit. Kind of on a similar vein, I think this happens a lot in the beauty community. Something that I've noticed with smaller creators, definitely more than big creators, people tend to like, not demand, but ask for things from creators to the point where that person feels the need to apologize. Oh, I'm sorry I wasn't able to buy the newest release to review for you guys. It's like, they should never feel bad about that, especially because for a lot of smaller creators, it's not their main job. Like, if you're a makeup review channel, like how like Tati used to be, for instance, yeah, that's one thing. It's like your job is to review makeup and you're gonna get all the newest things, and especially if you receive things in PR, it's not putting you out any money. But for smaller creators, a lot of times they're buying all the makeup themselves. Everything here except those Midas palettes I've bought with my own money, and that's the case for most small creators. So to feel like you need to buy products because your audience is asking for it to a point where you have to apologize when you can't, it shouldn't be necessary. Like, you should never feel bad for not being able to buy all of the releases because people want to hear your specific opinion on a release. Like, back when I was first getting into makeup on YouTube, pretty much when I started wearing makeup in general, it was never a question of like me wanting to hear a specific person talk about a product. It was like, if I wanted to hear about a product, I would search up that product and just find somebody's review, look it up, go on Temptalia. Like, I didn't need to wait for one specific person to talk about it to decide if I wanted it. So I think that's a very new thing because the beauty community is so much bigger than it was. Granted, back in the day, makeup YouTube was much more tutorial centered and tutorial based, so my camera cut off. My battery died. So, what was I saying? And I don't want to say that it's like, it's also not the fault of creators who sometimes do this. Like, creators are definitely at fault for perpetuating parasocial relationships because they kind of sometimes have to have some level of it to have success. Like, you have to have some level of relatability to get people to come back to watch you. But I feel like that there's that fine line that people need to make, like, boundaries. Like, they need to keep boundaries with their audience, or else the audience is just going to be more toxic and have this, like, sense of entitlement to their content, to their lives, to their emotions. I feel like Jaclyn Hill is one of those people who has really thrived, for better or for worse, off of the parasocial relationship that she's created with her audience, in basically saying that, like, oh, without you guys, I wouldn't be here today. And it's like, yes, there is some truth to that, but to constantly remind your viewers that they are responsible for your success makes them feel like they need to, like, defend you at all costs or stand up for you at all costs. That's not healthy, because there's a lot of times when somebody does something that they need to be called out for, and then those people who are so attached to them don't know what to do, because it's like, on one hand, it's like you want to support the person that you enjoy and that you like and that maybe you're somewhat unhealthily obsessed with. You want to stand up for that person, but then, oh, well, they think of me as a friend, so I need to defend my friend, when it's like, they don't think of you as a friend. So many people who have such success, who treat their audience and who talk to their audience like Jaclyn Hill does, they're doing that because it makes them more successful. They're not necessarily doing that because they love their subscribers, because a lot of times their actions don't line up with what they say. So what was the moral of this video? God, this was such a scatterbrain thing, but it's such a complicated topic that, like, I wanted it to come off in the way where it's like, I'm not putting blame on either party specifically, but it's just something that I feel like people need to be aware of and conscious of when they're interacting with people on the internet, whether you're a content creator or a viewer. Obviously, the person that follows you and they like you and they interact with your content, they're going to want to make you happy, and they're going to want to do things that make you happy. There's an imbalance, you know? And like, in some extreme cases of that kind of borderline manipulation, you can get to like grooming, asking for inappropriate content from fans. And then there's definitely a power imbalance where you have the fan wanting to please the creator or the celebrity or the influencer that they support, but no influencer and no content creator should ever put a fan in that situation. So like, parasocial relationships definitely exist on a spectrum. You have one end that's like harmless and just kind of silly and dorky, and there's their community, and it's not necessarily harmful. It's something that like makes the whole community work. Without some level of a parasocial relationship going on, YouTubers would not have the success that they do. But then you have on the extreme end where you have people abusing their power in multiple ways and manipulating their audience in multiple ways. But now, because the community is so much bigger and the disconnect between viewer and creator is so much bigger, it's way more complicated now. Like, it's far more complicated and way more nuanced, so much more nuanced. And I hope that this video had some sort of nuance in it. It's really hard to kind of put everything into words and explain. I'm gonna put on some lip gloss now. Okay. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on everything. This is the Ulta Plumped Up Pout lip gloss. This is the spiciest plumping lip gloss I have ever tried, and I blame Nisa. I had no idea that this was gonna be so spicy.
Oh my god.
So yeah, let me know in the comments. Let's start a discussion. For today's song of the day, I want it to be another emo song. Josh made a Spotify playlist called Felt Emo, Might Delete Later, which, love it. Vindicated by Dashboard Confessional is your song of the day. You know, but yeah, Dashboard Confessional, Vindicated, it's one of my favorite songs from that era of music. So definitely go check it out if you've never listened to it. We love a good emo throwback. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you are new here and would like to see more of me, please subscribe. That would be super cool and awesome and fun and funky fresh. Links to all my social media, my Instagram, my Twitch, my Twitter are in the description down below. I hope this was coherent. I hope this made sense. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. My lips are starting to burn already, and you know, sometimes you just gotta have some burny lips. And if you do want to purchase any of these things from Midas Cosmetics as well as anything else, my affiliate link is in the description down below. You can get a 20% off with the coupon code Abby if you want to buy anything from Midas. And I do get a kickback from using that affiliate link, just to be transparent as possible. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you are staying safe, staying healthy, stay home, wear your mask, wash your hands, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!